It's 9:20 a.m., the 14th of October 2025. In the South China Sea, near the Spratly Islands, the USS Ronald Reagan carrier group cuts through calm gray water. Suddenly, sonar alarms scream. Two massive contacts appear close, too close. Sailors sprint to their stations, voices sharp over the intercom. On deck, helicopters spin up for launch. Then, the impossible happens. Two Chinese Type 093 submarines break the surface just a few miles away. Black hulls glistening under the Sunday. No missiles fire, no torpedoes launch, just silence and steel. Every radar locks on, every finger hovers over the trigger. The ocean holds its breath. One wrong move, and the Pacific could ignite. For the next 60 minutes, both sides stare through periscopes and scopes, waiting. The tension feels like a wire about to snap. Every creak of metal sounds like danger. Out here, one flicker of misread intent isn't a drill, it's the start of a war. The South China Sea isn't just blue water on a map, it's a highway for global trade. Oil for trucks and planes, grain for kitchens, chips for phones and cars. All of it rides through these lanes. The USS Ronald Reagan and her escorts USS Shiloh and USS Halsey Guard that flow with a simple, brutal mission. Keep the sea open, no matter who tries to close it. China calls this area its historic backyard. The United States calls it international water. Each side carries law and pride like armor. When two Type 093 submarines surfaced just miles from the carrier, it wasn't random seamanship. It was theater with teeth. A signal that says, we can get this close anytime we want. Inside the Reagan's Combat Information Center, the air tastes like coffee and metal. Sailors track contacts, filter noise, and rehearse the what-ifs. One wrong call can turn a gray morning into a black headline. Over secure circuits, commanders weigh calm words against firm posture. Deterrence only works if your voice doesn't shake. Above, fighters orbit with weapons safe. Below, nuclear boats hum in patient circles. Insurance markets watch this as closely as admirals do. A skirmish here spikes global prices tomorrow. A collision ripples into policy, elections, alliances. That's why the carrier group is here. Not to pick a fight, but to stop one from starting and protect the lanes that feed everyday life. If you think the US should hold its line, hit 1. If you believe China's show of force sends the stronger message, press 9. Either way, subscribe to Stay with the Crew as this standoff tightens your comment shapes which decisions we break down next. 9:28 a.m., 8 minutes after the first sonar alarm, the two Type 093 submarines hold position, half submerged. Their towers aimed at the USS Ronald Reagan like silent guns. Every second feels stretched thin. The sea, once calm, now hums with tension. Unknown units maintaining surface, the sonar chief reports. His voice doesn't shake, but his hand tightens around the console. The USS Halsey, a destroyer built to hunt subs, slides forward, bow cutting water with precision. Its sonar pulses out, returning a chorus of pings. The Chinese boats reply with their own low-frequency waves, a cold underwater stare-down. Reagan Halsey, recommend active tracking, no engagement. The radio crackles, command confirms. Fighters from Carrier Air Wing 5 lift off one by one, forming a tight halo above the group. On the Chinese side, radar picks up a Z-20 ASW helicopter rising from a distant deck. Both sides know. Every move is being mirrored. 9:43 a.m. The sea explodes with sound countermeasures, metallic echoes bouncing in all directions. The USS Shiloh launches sonar decoys, a non-lethal shield meant to break tracking. On deck, sailors move fast, strapping down gear as the carrier turns 10 degrees south, small change, big space. Then a deeper thud. One Chinese sub dives again, vanishing beneath the surface like a predator into cover. The second stays above, its flag cutting through the spray. It's not retreat, it's positioning. The message is clear. We're still here. 9:51 a.m. Overhead, a Seahawk dips its sonar. Sonobuoys splash down, building a wall of listening ears. The Halsey streams her towed array, tightening her turn to box the contact. Rules of engagement echo across comms. No fire unless hostile intent confirmed. Reports flow in faint, transient east, cavitation south. The tactical screen redraws like a storm map. The carrier steadies, wind perfect for launches, but holds speed fast. Water is noisy water, and noise hides threats. Maintain readiness. The captain orders. Eyes fix on the glowing display, a digital chessboard of blue and red. No missiles fly, no shots fired, but in the silence between beats, the ocean feels alive, waiting for permission to roar. 10:02 a.m. The calm starts to crack. Below the waves, the first Type 093 maneuvers again, circling wide beneath the carrier group. Sonar tracks it, losing it, then catching it again like a heartbeat, skipping in panic. The USS Halsey pivots, turning broadside to face the contact, an unmistakable signal. We see you. The USS Shiloh maintains flank position, its Aegis radar sweeping low arcs across the horizon. A blip appears, then vanishes. False contact or stealth drone? Nobody knows yet. Every creak of metal sounds like danger. Above, jets from Carrier Air Wing 5 Titan formation, fuel lines whispering as they orbit. Contact closing, bearing 180, the sonar chief calls. The tone in his voice is new, urgent, strained. A torpedo tube opening? Maybe. The bridge falls silent. The captain glances at the tactical display, then to the comms officer. Shadow them. No one fires first. His words are measured, but his eyes stay locked on the red icons. The Chinese sub breaks radio silence. A short burst of encrypted tones echoes through the water, an underwater warning impossible to decode. Seconds later, the Reagan sonar array picks up rapid cavitation north of their position. Another contact? Third sub? Or decoy? The carrier's escorts move to intercept, tightening the screen. For 30 minutes, the ocean becomes a chessboard of sound. Active sonar pings overlap with the mechanical thrum of countermeasures. On deck, sailors brace as the ship makes a slow, deliberate turn east, presenting the smallest possible target. The Halsey's 5-inch gun rotates, tracking empty water. Nobody speaks louder than a whisper. Static scratches across the net. A bearing line jitters, then steadies. Flight deck crews freeze mid-motion, eyes on the island as the captain orders an MCON shift, radios trimmed, emissions tight. The message is simple: be seen less, hear more. Then, out of nowhere, one sonar operator leans back and mutters, "They're testing us." He's right. It's a push, a probe, a dangerous dance meant to measure how far each side will go before pulling the trigger. If you believe the US should hold firm under this pressure, hit 1. If you think China's silent advance is the smarter play, hit 9 and stay tuned, because the next sound might be the one that breaks the silence. 10:36 a.m. The pattern breaks. Sonar picks up something strange, fast, shallow, and closing. Not a submarine, not a torpedo. The signal moves too erratically, skipping just beneath the surface like metal skipping stones. Multiple fast movers detected, the operator shouts. Within seconds, the USS Halsey locks sensors. 3. No 5 contacts, racing straight toward the formation. They're small, low, and fast unmanned underwater drones, likely launched from a hidden support ship. Each drone carries an explosive payload designed to cripple engines or sonar domes. The Reagan's defensive net comes alive. Sonar arrays light up, decoys deploy, and helicopters pivot to drop depth charges. A single splash turns to a dozen. Shockwaves ripple through the sea. Still, 2 of the drones keep coming, darting between layers of countermeasures, guided by onboard AI. "Helm hard starboard!" the captain orders. The 100,000-ton carrier groans as it turns, water surging over the deck edge. From the air, it looks like a whale dodging harpoons. The Halsey fires anti-drone torpedoes, tiny, agile weapons meant to intercept at close range. One drone explodes, but then a new ping echoes, different tone, different source. A third submarine, previously undetected, has entered the grid from the east. It's silent, low, and close. Too close. The tactical screen redraws itself, red triangles multiplying across the map. The crew exchanges tense looks. This isn't a drill anymore, it's a trap forming beneath their hulls. Damage control teams stand by with hoses and patch kits. Engineers dog watertight doors. The new contact hums like a pump jet, quieter, meaner. Somewhere in the dark, a torpedo tube floods. Everyone hears it. No one speaks. 10:49 a.m. The first torpedo launches. A low metallic roar vibrates through the deep, then the sonar alarm howls. Inbound, bearing 090, speed 70 knots. The USS Halsey reacts instantly, firing countermeasures. Streams of bubbles burst behind her as decoys scatter like glitter in the dark. Hard to port, the destroyer heels over, engines straining. Seconds later, a thunderous detonation churns the sea 50 yards off her stern. Spray rains across the deck. The torpedo missed but barely. The Reagan maintains course, surrounded by a ring of chaos. USS Shiloh engages another contact to the east, launching ASROC missiles that arc through the clouds before diving into the ocean. Each impact shakes the horizon. Beneath, the third Chinese submarine dives deeper, playing dead on sonar, its noise profile vanishing into the abyss. A Seahawk helicopter hovers low, dipping its sonar again and again. Possible secondary launch detected, someone yells. Another wake appears faster this time, climbing toward the carrier. The Reagan's anti-torpedo system responds, deploying its last two interceptors. For 10 seconds, everything is motion and noise-roaring turbines, churning propellers, and alarms screaming over one another. Then impact. A wall of white water rises near the bow. The deck shudders. Crew hit the floor as loose gear crashes down. Minor flooding, forward compartment. Damage control teams sprint through corridors, sealing bulkheads, patching lines. The ship holds. The attack didn't sink her, but it left a mark. The bridge stays dark, lit only by radar glow. The captain exhales slowly. Reagan to all units return, fire authorization granted. The Halsey and Shiloh launch in tandem torpedoes cutting through the sea, guided by precise sonar pings. Moments later, a muffled explosion rolls up from the deep, then another, and silence. The third sub-signal disappears. Smoke and spray drift across the waves. The battle quiets, but no one cheers. Every sailor knows this was only the opening round. If you think the US should strike harder after surviving this hit, press 1. If you believe holding back prevents a bigger war, press 9, because either choice could decide what comes next. 11:22 a.m. The sea is quiet again, but it's not peace, just the silence that follows something breaking. Oil slicks shimmer, smoke drifts where explosions once were. The USS Ronald Reagan lists slightly. Damaged crews work below deck. Above, jets from Carrier Air Wing 5 patrol in tight arcs, engines low, ready but restrained. On radar, no more red triangles. The third Chinese submarine is gone, destroyed, or retreating. No one knows. Beijing denies any loss. Washington calls it a measured response. Calm words for a fight everyone aboard knows nearly spiraled out of control. Inside the Combat Information Center, the hum of machines replaces voices. Sailors move slower, adrenaline fading to exhaustion. Some exchange quiet looks, half victory, half warning. They survived, but just barely. And next time, the drones will be faster, the subs quieter, the sea less forgiving. By afternoon, engineers mark stress cracks along the hull, chalking repairs that will take weeks. Pumps hum, bulkheads creak, and the carrier steadies by a few degrees. On the mess deck, coffee cools beside open logbooks as watchstanders record every detail before the memory fades into rumor. Shoreside, the ripples spread fast. Insurance spikes, freighters delay departure. Politicians script calm statements while analysts count losses in seconds and inches. Intelligence circles whisper about a hidden launch platform, a disguised trawler. Signals cut the moment the first blast hit. No proof, only patterns. But patterns are how wars begin. At noon, the captain steps onto the flight deck. The sky is clear now, the horizon flat and endless. The sea's calm again, he says quietly. Let's keep it that way. It's not a command, it's hope, spoken aloud. In the newsrooms, the battle turns into language. Containment for some, provocation for others. Out here, peace and war are the same tide, waiting for the next gust. If you believe this fragile calm will hold, press 1. If you think another spark is inevitable, press 9 and subscribe to follow where the next wave hits.